Welcome to Finance Series with Oyekemi Ajayi. It is a great pleasure to connect with you. This week, I'm going to be talking about unlocking internal value through culture and value alignment. A very interesting topic, right? Let's dive into this. A company's culture is not just about how people feel, it's about how they work. When organizational values are clearly defined and consistently practiced, mark my words please, clearly defined and consistently practiced, they begin to shape behaviors, they drive accountability and foster trust. This alignment helps to create high-performance environment that directly supports strategic and financial goals. What am I saying in all these things? What I'm saying is that you need to ensure that your value as an organization is clearly defined and practiced within the organization. If you have good core values, these core values can now become a way of life. It can be practiced by your employees. So you need to get to that level as an organization. Let's look at the key points that you need to note in driving internal value through culture and value alignment. The first point here is that you need to define what your core values are. What does your core value ensure? Does it ensure that these values that you have are actionable and not just aspirational? The second point to note is that your core values must be embedded into daily operations, and this must also guide your decision making. So for example, if one of your core values is on integrity, when we look at how you carry out your operations, we should see integrity. If one of your value is care, when you interact with your customers, when you relate with your customers, we must see that care. When you interact as a team, we can see that care. When you are hiring, for example, and you are in a room and the applicant is a bit, jittery, scared, for some reason, you need to show care, be empathetic. We need to see that in your daily operations. The next point I'd like to emphasize here is that your core values must promote accountability and ownership. It should, when you talk about your core values, your employees should be empowered. It should drive them to take initiatives. It should drive them to own their outcomes. That is where core values or your culture as an organization aligns with value. The next point is to foster a culture of excellence. This would help to encourage continuous improvement. It will encourage collaboration and also drive integrity within the organization. Finally, when there is value alignment in the organization and a good culture, you observe that labor turnover is reduced, productivity is, on top gear, and then your brand, your reputation is strong, and all this would lead to long-term value creation in your organization. I hope this information has been very helpful. I implore you today to review your culture, review your core values, ensure that they are properly aligned within the organization, and most importantly, ensure that they drive performance and they are not just aspirational, but they are actually values that drive performance and values that can be a way of life for your employees. Thank you once again for your time, and do have a great one.